lose the feel for each other as elders. And I was doing a massage the other day, and it was on Christmas Day, and the lady, this is a beachfront house, all the works. Now I got her cat there, but she's alone, right? And she's booking a massage. Yeah, she has pain. Yeah, she's dealing with things, but it's more to receive touch, right? To feel warmth. And if we think when we're kids, they're always touching us, they're grabbing us, they're throwing us up, they're squeezing us, they're giving us that warmth. And as we age, and then we get just one person that we touch, And then I was thinking about my mom when she was young. She was telling me the story of going to the movies, and in the dark they hold hands, and that was like a big deal. And if you're bold, you'd be holding hands outside in the public. And now we look at touch as just sexual, and then after we don't have it, we're feeling for any kind of touch, right? Because we're misunderstanding the importance of touch, the importance of being in contact with each other for that energy exchange of life. And we're misunderstanding what life is about, because we have sex to make life, but life is not sex, right? So we have to understand the sacredness of touch. That is different types of touch. There's healing touch, there's romantic touch, there is consoling touch, there is I'm feeling great touch, there's like camaraderie touch, there's aggressive touch, there's violent touch, there's all these kinds of different gauges. And as we age and we start to become in our own story, envelop more so in my family, in my security, in my home, in mine, we get touched less and less and less. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I find being one of those people who doesn't have a partner, that touch is important too, but I have a lot of people in my life that I hug on and love on, and I hold hands with, and when I meet people on a regular, you see me, I'm always, I ask people if I could hold their hands so I can feel their energy, and people are like, what? Oh, okay. What are we doing? I was like, let's just exchange energy.
Yeah.
Left hand is incoming, right hand is outgoing. Let's just receive each other's energy. Yeah. So I have found different ways to be in contact with people and to receive receive loving touch in different ways, because, like you said, they are in when I bring my children up, you get this whole thing where you have a period of time from when they're young until they're old. You pretty much have to touch each other, because you're cleaning the child, you're feeding, they're wanting you, they're all over you, and then they break away from you, and so that goes a little bit away, and so you learn, parents detaching from their children. Oh, I miss when they're touching me. They miss that. And then, if you do or don't have a partner, and then let's just say, like now, I haven't had a partner in a year, and at least a committed partner. And so not having just one person you can go to all the time and know that that's your person, that is, I guess that, like the lady said, does feel kind of sad, but you want that to be an honest connection too. So I would much rather wait for the right connection, because I'm not interested in bullshit touch like that. Yes, there's all the sexual stuff that goes on, but in terms of the deep connection and waiting for that connection to touch your heart and to allow somebody to reach into your heart, I think making that a special place, and knowing that has to be a little bit kept away. But again, I have so many friends that are males too, that are like my brothers, like you guys, and I mean, I don't know how often we all touch and hug and hold hands and do all kinds of things together. And I have all, like, the guys at the house, and they're not necessarily touchy guys. They're way more 3D. They're not like us. They're very 3D guys. One's a plumber, one's a car salesman. Like, it's kind of funny. But they're very 3D. But like, I know with them, I work on their, I work with them in their chakras, and I hold their hands. I do energy exchange with at least one person every single time I'm there. And I use the tuning forks on them just so they come in contact with what that feels like.
High vibration.
Yeah. Well, I think that I had told you after I did the tuning forks on Saxon, I did them around his chest, and I was finishing, and he was like, no, right here. That feels good. Can you do more? So I stayed around his throat and his chest with the Ohm tuning fork, the weighted tuning fork. And 10 minutes later, he's like, okay, so Dre, just to let you know, whatever you did, he's like, you totally loosened something up in my face, in my mouth, and in my chest, in my throat, right here.
In the whole area.
but that was vibration and touch, and the fact that you got, like, you know me, I'm always touching people. So I'm like, oh, here, sit down. You're not feeling well, sit down. And I just start to work on people. I run my energy through them. I use the tuning for whatever I can. Mm-hmm. And I'm not afraid of that. So it's fun for me to use touch in that way, because, I mean, you know, most of that's really like not romantic. That's just love from my heart.
That's
like
pure energy of life.
Yeah. And I find myself doing that on a regular. That is like my form of...
Remember when we were here as a group and Sarai was here? It wasn't the first time we had a lot of people here, and then we had joined hands after the meditation, mm-hmm. and we were exchanging energy as a circle. Mm-hmm. She said that when we joined hands, the pain in her back went away.
Yes.
So if we take heed to the importance of what that means, when we are open, when we are calm, when we are feeling secure, and then we exchange that energy of life, it heals. Whether we are even concentrating on it or not, because it's Reiki. It's the flow of vital life force. Mm-hmm. When we're open, there is the connection. It's just an opening, because the connection is always present. It's an opening. And when we're children, we're so open to receive that. That's why we want people to touch us. And then when we come into our own ego, we think we only want romantic touch. Mm-hmm. We forget that it's important for touch. And then we'll beat the shit out of our bodies. Mm-hmm. And then our bodies tax us. And we don't know how to take care of our body. We also then need somebody else who's licensed to touch us,
come and take care,
and know how to touch us,
because we don't even know how to be in contact with our body, or even actually hear what that sounds like, to know what the subtle communication of what our body's language is trying to speak to us. It's
a hug is so powerful.
Yeah, and what that does for us. But all this subtle communication and the listening to of our body and touch and engaging, and caring enough to listen to your body's cries for, hey, I need to be loved. Like I'm sad. I'm lonely. I'm human. Like, I need other people. And to realize that we really, like, every one of us has the power to heal the other. Mm-hmm. And you and I talk about energy exchange all the time. And all we have to do is know how to run our energy and work with each other. And it doesn't have to be a terribly hard thing. And if people are open to receiving energy and the channeling and running things through,
that simplifies
it. Literally, it's so simple. So, because the people that, let's just say the people that come up to us, let's say in OB, because we have a lot more free spirits, I think, in OB. They're different markets. But people that come up, I'll touch somebody or I'll hug somebody for an extended period of time. And they'll tell me, what were you doing to me? I felt it all through my legs. I felt this. I felt you pull the pain away in here. And people tell me that regularly. But those are the people that are open to receiving it.
Yeah, and now the love seeps in.
Yeah. And their body as a vessel and as a mechanism that can interpret vibration and frequency, and my body that's doing the same thing and sending that to them, and our bodies interacting and creating healing for each other.
So what I realize what you're saying, that is the reason why people feel the Reiki just upon hugging them without us doing any technique, is that we are that. And we are living guided by spirit. We don't know what tomorrow's bringing, but we know that we're going to follow spirit. So we have surrendered and submitted our free will over to divine guidance. That is an energy income, outcome of divine proportions, just on our scale. So when we are aligned with that, where I'm surrendering to spirit to guide me, to guide my mannerisms, my words, my thoughts, my touch, my gestures, and then whatever happens is me living that surrendering. So when somebody comes in contact with you or I or us, we are now experiencing that vibrant divine energy, and it's returning to the person. Mm-hmm. We're not giving them anything.
We're just channel. We know how to use energy. We know how to let it run through us, and with intention and love, and realizing that no, you are not the source of it. You can have it run through you. You can have the allowance of it move through you.
Like the mother consoling the child after he or she bangs her or gets hurt, and You know, the mother is not necessarily doing something. She's touching, and she's using her voice to console the child and changing the paradigm within, so that the child is now open to receive the healing. It's the mindset. So when we have the comfort of someone touching us, of sharing that energy, it eases us so that we can open up.
Mm-hmm.
It eases up so that our mind receives the divine guidance, because we are all channels of that divine guidance. And if we're open, like a child is open, that's why a child is exuberant, is vibrant. It's like rubber, because it's always have this touch, this support, and it's always in development. But so are we as adults. We're always in development. But there is this lackluster to our development in comparison to the child, because the child has all the enthusiasm of the world around it. But now as we adults, we start talking about our inner child, right? We start talking about our dreams, and those that are asleep think that those that are talking and living in that spirit, if they're not open, they feel a certain way about that. Mm-hmm. They won't share the touch. Mm-hmm. These are the vampires. These are the energetic leeches, as you know, and we all need energy.
And I don't think that many people even necessarily know that they're doing that.
No,
I've been around so many people.
We are just in need of it.
Yeah, and they don't realize what their behaviors are doing, and that they're sucking off of other people.
Think about it. I think about a person who, just from childhood, that they haven't been engaged upon, and then now they grow up and they haven't had a supporting experience, that they're getting love, that they're cared for, and then they see someone else living in love and peace, and they can identify that within them.
Yeah.
So
because that's broken. It's a broken piece in them, or just a piece that hasn't been addressed.
Remember this guy? It was in Hillcrest Farmers Market that he approached, and then we started talking to him. He said, "Whoa, I can't do that."
Oh yeah. That's right. That was just a week or two ago.
He danced into the mix because he needed it, and then
once I came to reach for him and asked him, he literally turned
he did a fucking Michael Jackson spin out of it.
And every one of us, there was like 5 of us around going, "What just happened?" But that was energy at work.
Yeah,
that was pure energy.
So there's certain vibrations.
That was funny.
That we can't.
That was funny.
That the individual on that thigh that is sleeping cannot incorporate into or integrate into them.
Yeah.
Because it's been dormant. It's sleep.
Yeah.
Now, when their guard is down, for instance, say that individual has a loved one, a lady, right, and they let the lady in. If the person that they let in has the capacity to engage their inner light, there can be saving there.
Oh yeah.
There can be salvation there.
Yeah.
Because the inner light that they let their guard down to, if someone can acknowledge it and promote it,
yes, absolutely,
then we are re-engaging in the divine essence of the person.
Speak to that.
But that is.
But it takes being vulnerable. It takes
because only to the person that we feel is not going to harm us, that we're going to open up our heart.
Yeah.
And let them touch us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And touch. When we're talking about the importance of changing positive energy. So positive energy flows when we're open to it. And if we're not open to the positive energy flow, then we start to need it. And if we need it too much, we start to be bitter about seeing it because we're not receiving it. So we see the elder people that are not receiving touch. Like this woman that I massaged on Christmas Day, that she just needed touch. And then we see the people that they are always touched, like the children. And then in between, where we only reserve the touching for the sexual, when it's not true. Because we dance with life, we dance with each other. And the gracefulness of how we flow, we are touching all the meanwhile. And the moves that we do are all apparent to the openness of the flow. Mm-hmm. And if we are not open to the flow, we don't know how to dance. Just like the other guy in the market comes, David, the chiropractor. I'm like, so how are you doing today? He said, I'm super excited. And I'm like, what? This guy he looks depressed the same as any other day. And he said, no, I'm super excited. I was
He
dancing.
did. His
He
face
was dancing.
was so. He said, he's like, I was dancing, and we're like, you were dancing. You don't look happy right now. I was so happy. We're all. But actually, he was like, I was so happy.
Yeah.
He was like, so happy. We're like, oh.
Like, he's so excited inside.
But that was his expression.
Inside.
Very stoic expression.
Because since the light got turned down, not off, because like you said, the spirit, the soul's still here, so there's light. But it gets turned down, so it's hard to be in the element and to dance with life.
When they haven't been exposed to it, or when it's been such a long time.
Exposed for such a long time.
But we all need healing in many ways. We all got many of our issues, and I think that we all could use some assessment when it comes to touch in our life and what that means to us, not only externally, but with ourselves and caring for ourselves and caring for our own body and coming into communication with what our body's trying to communicate with us. So that just leads us on to a whole nother topic, which we'll talk about another time, about the communication with our body and and listening to our what's trying to communicate in that sense. But I think that it's a great thing to talk about because we do misinterpret touch, and we misinterpret the need for that in our life. And I think that
gotta get back to being in touch with the essence of our inner child and that love, that when we are, for instance, helping somebody up and we touching them, they have nothing to do with anything except helping the person up. And if we don't extend ourselves to help another person up, we feel there is no one else, and then this world becomes poor little old me. And that's not truth.
Yeah, it's a constant extension of ourself on a regular basis, be it somebody that we do love and we do feel a connection with, or somebody like you said on the street, or a child. It doesn't really matter. We all need love, we all need connection, and we all need each other.